Or if you're maybe thinking about some gift ideas, I've got something for everyone in this hour. I'm Alice Caron. Let me give you a little peek at what we have coming up. Because if you're not hungry yet, you will be by the end of this hour. And in fact, wait till you see what we have coming up, because we have available for you the Gourmet Steak Sampler available. We have your small. We also have your large at $119.95. It is brand new, 082851. We are talking about aged beef. Aged beef, 21 days aged. We are talking about all their steaks, hand-trimmed. And we are talking about the kind of quality that you want when you sit down at the table and slice into that steak. You want it to be an Omaha steak. 082851 is your item number. This is a company that has been doing this for not just decades. I mean, try 100 years. 100 years they have been shipping steaks all across America, and we're going to get right to it and show you what we have available, because we have two choices. Are you ready? Because this is your Gourmet Steak Pack. 2 5-ounce filet mignons, 2 9-ounce boneless strips, and 2 5-ounce top sirloins are coming to your front door if you order the small, which is $69.95. By the way, $20 off our normal price on this one, and we're going to even do 3 flex payments on that of $23.32. We've reduced our shipping and handling as well. Now, if you want the large, if you want to double up, 4 5-ounce filet mignons, 4 9-ounce boneless strips, 4 5-ounce top sirloins. Let me give you a peek at the large, because really this is something that you just have to look at. This is going to be your fillets right here. Look at the size of those 9-ounce strips. And then we also have your top sirloins over here, 5 ounces each, 082851. These are on 4 flex payments, $29.99. Tim Wilkins is an award-winning chef. Perhaps you've seen him on TV. And we are delighted to welcome him back.
Hello, dear.
Hello. Omaha Steaks.
Yes.
You know, when I say a cut above, I mean, this is a company over 100 years.
5th generation family company, doing things the same way consistently every time, to over 3 million active customers. We are the largest direct-to-consumer gourmet retailer in the world for a reason.
3 million?
3 million. 3 million people that absolutely love this.
And I'm one of those 3 million.
Yes.
As a matter of fact.
Let's get right to it, Alice. Let's talk about the steak that made Omaha Steaks. Let's talk about the filet mignon. That's what people come to Omaha Steaks for. And you've got these in here, aged to perfection. Like I said, 21 days. Wait until you see the beautiful, just tender. The last time we were on, we were cutting them, the juice, we were cutting them with the fork, which I would love to show you again. This is what you get when you age a steak for 21 days. There, yes, dear. Dive in.
Thank you so much.
I know, I'm not going to hold you back.
I already had the fork in my hand. I'm not sure you could have stopped me.
Oh, I'm not going to try and stop you. Again, the 21-day aging process that we use with every cut of our hand-trimmed Omaha steaks brings out the very best. It gets it to that peak of flavor. It gets it to that perfect taste, that perfect amount of tenderness. It breaks it down. And then what we do from there is we lock it in at the peak of perfection. We cryo store it. We freeze it. We individually freeze it and then send it so that when you thaw this out, you are getting it at the peak of perfection yourself. You are getting it, not like when you buy it at the store. This isn't a store-bought steak. This is your fine dining experience.
This is your fine dining experience in your fine dining room. And that's the best part. You know, a lot of times we don't want to get dressed. We don't want to go out. We don't want to spend $10 for a side of mashed potatoes or a baked potato. We don't want to do that. Just sit in your own home, smell those steaks sizzling on the grill, and then it comes to your plate. But when you cut into it, this is an Omaha steak. This is not just a regular steak. The aging process is so key to this. And not only that, hand-trimmed. And Tim, very important that it's hand-trimmed, because otherwise you're paying for a lot of different fat. You're paying for a lot of things that you don't even want on your steak.
I grew up working in my family's meat market as a kid, and we hand-trimmed every steak, and it was very important to give people the exact perfection that they get every time, so they knew why they were coming to a boutique place for gourmet foods. It's just one of those things. They know that we're selecting these for the marbling. This is the strip. This is what they call the king of the grill right here.
That's right.
This is the, oh, look at the juice, Alice.
Oh, gosh.
Look at the juice on that. The strip steak, this is one of those things that's got the marbling to give it the flavor and the tenderness. It's still lean, it's still pretty, but it's not a sirloin and it's not a filet. It's that beautiful in-between. It's got that bold, beefy flavor that just says steak. And it's funny, my wife and I, she was intimidated cooking steaks because a lot of people don't do that. They back off a little bit. They think, I don't want to ruin a steak, but you don't want to go out and spend $100 to $150 for 2 steaks. Like you said, a bottle of wine, a glass of wine, and a side, you're $100 deep. Right. So this is the beauty. You want
they get me on that $10 baked potato.
Let's talk about
that's just crazy, isn't it?
And asparagus for $12. It's asparagus. Let's talk about the perfect steak. Let's just bring this over here real quick.
All right.
Let's get this. So the perfect steak I do in 5 steps. I give it a brush of oil, a season. Cook it for a couple minutes on both sides in a hot pan. Get that pan nice and hot. Really sear it on both sides. Right? Lock that in. Caramelize those spices. Close up those pores on the outside. And then finish it off in the oven to your temp. And if you don't know what that temp is, it comes in our chart. It comes with every box. Or it's on our Steak Time app. And then you let it rest and you let those juices kind of redistribute throughout the meat. And this is what you get. Again, you're getting this beautiful, juicy New York strip.
Look at the color.
Look at the color. It's that when you get it, you open that box, you'll see that
beautifully it's trimmed.
Beautiful. Oh, that fat on the edge is for flavor.
Exactly.
That is not for weight. That is to make sure you're getting a beautiful steak.
The juice on that. Oh my gosh. Okay, listen, let me give you an update, okay? Because if you want the large, that's going to be the first to sell out, and what you're looking at right here is your large. I'm talking about supersize.
Oh, yes.
Okay, number 1, start right here. Because when it comes to the fillets, like you said, this is where Omaha Steaks started. These are aged steaks. This is not just another steak. This is an aged steak. We will talk about why the aging process is so important, why it adds not only to the flavor, but also to the tenderness of the steak. You are getting not 4 ounces. These are 5 ounces each, 4 of them. Look at the size of these strips, though, which is my favorite. I like a steak that has a little bit of chew to it. You know, frankly, I love
a little bite.
Yeah, I'd love to have it where, you know, it's nice to have it melt in your mouth. If you want a steak that's really considered the king of steaks, it's the strip right here. 9 ounces. Frankly, I challenge you to eat that whole thing because you may want to split that one. And then 4 of your top sirloins. Again, 5 ounces each right here. If you order this right here, all this coming to your front door, or send this as a gift, ultimate gift right here, $119.95. You're going to get 4 flex payments, $29.99 on your credit card. Oh my
Alice,
gosh.
look what I got.
But wait.
You really want to fill your freezer?
Yes, I do.
You can get either the 6 steaks or the 12 steaks.
Help you?
And please,
sure,
because I'm getting a little tired over here. And you can add 12 of our gourmet steak burgers or 12 of our gourmet franks for a fraction of the cost. You can fill your freezer, and when you sink your teeth on one of these, this is my father-in-law's favorite thing right here is the gourmet franks.
They're special.
They are very special.
Right.
While you're holding that, I want to show people. This is their frank right here. This is what you get. It takes 10 of these to almost equal 4 of our gourmet franks in a pack. And what you're getting as well, I'm testing your workout, you're in great shape. Look at the difference. Look at the difference. There are no fillers. That's pure pork and beef. 3.5 ounces of gourmet frank for a flavor.
All right.
And you get 12 of those and 12 of the gourmet steak burgers.
12 of the burgers and 12 of the hot dogs in addition to the steaks.
Yes.
Right. So this is what you'll either choose. If you just want the steaks, then you can get the steaks. If the large is your choice, $119.95, 4 flex payments, $29.99. The small is going to be 2 of your fillets, 2 of your strips, and 2 of your top sirloins for $69.95. Again, $20 off of our normal price on this. $23.32. And then, if you want to upgrade it, you will either do the large and add the 12 burgers, the 12 hot dogs, or you can also add to the small as well. And I think it's 6 and Is it still 12 and 12?
12 and 12.
Yeah.
You fill that freezer like mine is at home.
Gosh, it's awesome.
Okay, Alice, this is the sirloin, and these are made like sirloin fillets. The way they're cut and the way they're trimmed, each of them is just a petite fillet. Look at that thing right there. Look at the juice. This is what they call the steak lover's steak, the sirloin. Still 21 days of aging, 21 days hand trimmed, hand selected. And at the peak of perfection, we lock those in. I'm getting you
do you see?
I'm getting you the best bites.
Do you see how beautifully that is trimmed? I mean, this is when you go to the meat market, if there was still one available. You know, have you ever seen one? I mean, you go to maybe your urban centers, you know, and they will have, you know, the old style meat markets where you say, hey, Joe, I want a couple of steaks tonight. Doesn't happen anymore.
No.
We're stuck with those supermarket steaks, or we want to go to your really beautiful steakhouse experience, which is going to cost you $1 zillion, you know, for a night out. This is for your family. This is for your ultimate gift idea. This is your chance to get it home at a great holiday price.
This is what I've sent my clients and friends and family every Christmas and every holiday, and a couple of them just to say thank you to my clients. And my wife and I have a little trick. We keep what a lot of the Omaha steak lovers keep is what's called a steak bank. We keep a couple on hand for a special occasion. We call that special occasion when the kids aren't home. And when those calls start to come in on a Friday and they say, oh, I'm sleeping over at this one's house or I have to work late, we don't want to necessarily go out and spend all that money, but we want a fine dining experience. We want a romantic dinner. We can grab this couple of Omaha steaks, thaw them out really quick because they're individually frozen. Thaw those out, grab the better bottle of wine than the 2 glasses we'd get for $25 out in the restaurant. Light the candles and enjoy a quiet house with a gourmet dinner, a 5-star dinner with that steakhouse quality steak that we know Omaha Steaks is going to give us time and time again.
Why age a steak? And you know, when you go to the restaurants, I mean, it tells you exactly how long it's been aged.
They do. And the thing, that's the interesting point. They don't do this in a lot of places anymore. It's a very labor-intensive, expensive process to let meat stay at the perfect temperature for 21 days and let the natural enzymes and the natural process break the meat down to its perfect peak of tenderness. It breaks it down to its most tender point, and it builds that flavor. It's like wine. When you let wine age, it actually brings out the most flavor you can get. Now you're getting the perfect tenderness, the perfect flavor, and it locks it in at that exact point of perfection. So when it comes to you, you thaw it out, there's your perfect gourmet 5-star steak.
If you have been receiving, if you have been sending Omaha Steaks for years and years and years, decades even, as I've been doing, we'd love to hear from you. Let us hear your testimonials. 1-866-376-8255. You know, this is personal. This is steak. This is the American classic. I mean, when we think of, you know what, honey, you just won that tournament, we're going for a steak dinner, right? It's that really celebratory moment. We love our beef here in the good old US of A. But you don't want it with all the fat on it. You don't want it with the gristle. You don't want to pay all that money. Maybe you just don't want to sit in a restaurant. You don't want to spend the $10 for, you know, a little side of mashed potatoes. Have your cake and eat it too. Have your steak that is aged, hand-trimmed, and truly one of the biggest companies in the country when it comes to shipping steaks. And I'm talking about the protein. This is the steak place.
The steak that made us famous.
That's what Omaha is about.
All right, dive in, Alice.
All right,
now, I was actually going to display this one, but you go ahead and dive in. I'm not going to keep this from you. Okay.
Don't make me get my knife.
I had big presentation dreams for this. Isn't that amazing? And it's what you expect when you go out and you spend the time and effort and the money for a gourmet meal. This is what you're expecting right here. You're expecting, this is, I love this. You're expecting this beautiful demi-glaze with these beautiful garlic mashed potatoes. You're expecting the ooh and the ah of a 5-star meal. I'm gonna do what chefs do. They drizzle a little bit on the outside.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they make it pretty.
Oh my gosh, that's gorgeous.
But some of it didn't make it to the pretty plate because some of it was on your fork.
Well, there was just a little tiny piece right here that, you know, I might even just use my fingers for.
You keep going. So let's get back, because you talk about it. Let's go back and cook some more steak, cut some more meat.
Even your strip. Your strip is so tender.
It's so tender. And you know, it's interesting you should say that. With confidence, you can buy these steaks. We have an unconditional guarantee that says if you are not absolutely 100% satisfied with your purchase, that we would, without question, will replace it or refund your money. Without question. And I absolutely love that. We stand behind everything we do so strongly.
And we're even going to include this cooking chart for you. So if you, for example, love yours rare, I love rare. Rare is mine, okay? Then 5 minutes per side, okay? That's how simple we're going to make this. Medium rare, medium, well done even. It's all right there for you. So even if you're going to do this in your broiler, even if you're not going to throw these on a grill, or if you don't have, for example, the Wolfgang Puck grill or an Emerald grill or whatever it might be, then it's fine. You can do this in your broiler because these steaks are hand trimmed. These steaks are aged. These are Omaha steaks. This is something that you know, that you love, that you would love to answer your door and see this great big case.
It's our deep freeze that comes delivered to you.
Sitting on your front door, and what are you going to do? You're going to go nuts.
You know what I love about that, too? When that thing comes, when I know the sound of that delivery truck. And when I hear that and I open the door and see my white cooler out there, it's like Christmas morning every time, no matter what time of year it is, because you just keep pulling things out of it. Everything is just frozen perfect. You start filling up the fridge and rearranging and throwing out old sauces and things you want to replace because you don't have room. I start stuffing it, so excited, and I want to start thawing things out. My wife says, no, not yet, but inherently I always leave 1 or 2 in the fridge. It's so exciting. And if you're sending this as a gift, if you've got kids away, or if you've got family or friends, somebody that maybe won't have someone special there with them for the holiday, but you'd still like it. That's our motto and our whole purpose at Omaha Steaks is to bring people together. When we gather around great food, we gather around a meal, and this is such a way to treat your family and friends to that great meal.
Absolutely beautiful aged steaks. Nothing like the way that it tastes when you, first of all, you smell it cooking in your home. And then you get it on that plate. These are huge. I mean, the 9-ounce strips, your 5-ounce fillets, your 5-ounce top sirloins. You put that on the plate. The juice is just going to be running right out of that steak. And then you cut into it, and you take that first bite, and it melts in your mouth.
Keep talking, Alice.
Aged, I know, it's your turn. I'm going to give you a little bit of a turn, okay? But the aged nature of this, the fact that they age it for every single steak for 21 days, the hand trimming means that it's going to be perfectly done. Half the time I buy a steak, at the store, I get it home, and my daughter hates fat, okay? She's over there working. Half the steak ends up on the side of the plate. These are Omaha. If you're buying this as a gift, which please, think about what you're giving to your family, to your friends, to the people you work with. If you need a corporate gift, this is the ultimate gift because this is the gift you give with confidence. Omaha Steaks stands behind every single one of those steaks. They have 3 million customers.
I have a funny story about my daughter. It's funny you should say that. We thawed out a couple of our strip steaks the other night, and our daughter Kate called and said, hey, I'm going to be home. This is our filet mignon right here. I'm going to be home. We didn't have one. I bought one from the store, and she saw the difference in color and marbling, and she said, why don't I get the good steak? She was not happy she didn't get the Omaha steak.
Well, there are a few things that go better with a steak than a little bit of vino. And did you hear that we are now offering wine?
I did not. Where's the vino?
Oh, we're going to show it to you in just a minute. But before we show you that, we want to...